You guys ready to start? You're all ready to start? Okay, all right. Okay, good evening everyone. I will open the meeting at 7 p.m. and pass you on to the CEO, Alison Beckwith, who will read out the formalities.
Thank you. Welcome all. This is a special meeting of Council. My name is Alison Beckwith and I am the Chief Executive Officer. Before we start tonight's meeting, there are some housekeeping items I need to take you through. The Victoria Government has declared a state of emergency across the entire state in response to the COVID-19. Council is prioritising the health, safety and wellbeing of our staff and residents in all our decisions regarding the management of our services. Council has taken the following steps to ensure compliance with the government's new COVID-19 Stage 3 rules for gatherings. Members of the public must not attend the meeting. There have been no provisions made to accommodate members of the public tonight. We are keeping the meeting open and accessible online. The Council meeting will be live streamed via our website and Facebook pages so that residents do not have to attend to participate. The live stream will allow you to tune in at any time and re-watch any part of the public meeting at your convenience, wherever you have access to the internet. As you will see tonight, we have spaced out our seating to meet the minimum of at least 1.5 metres apart. We thank you for tuning in to tonight's meeting and for adapting with these rapidly changing times. We are continuing to monitor announcements and warnings for the health and safety of all of our community. So I'll just introduce you to the staff and councillors in the room tonight. So from your right, we have Mark Gillio, Director of Corporate Services, Councillor Tom Melican, Councillor Peter Castaldo, Councillor Craig Langdon, the Mayor, Councillor Alison Champion, Councillor Mark Di Pasquale, Councillor Rick Garotti, who's Deputy Mayor, and Kath Brackett, Director of Community Programs. To my left is Gina Burden, Governance and Communications Manager, and Emily Outlaw, Council's Business Team Leader. Also here tonight we have Vivian Filano, Governance Coordinator, and Tanya O'Reilly, Manager of Finance and Procurement. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. All right, our meeting is being held on the traditional land of the Wurundjeri Woi-wurrung people. And on behalf of Banyule City Council, I wish to acknowledge them as the traditional custodians. I would also like to pay my respects to the Wurundjeri Woi-wurrung elders, past, present and emerging, and to acknowledge other Aboriginal and Torres Strait elders who may be joining us here today. We acknowledge that Councillor Wayne Phillips is absent this evening. Are there any other apologies or leave of absence? Okay, there are none. Any disclosure of interests this evening? Okay, there are none. Item 6.1, Council Plan 2017 to 2021. We're in Year 4 for public exhibition. There are no submitters to this item. Can I please have a councillor move a motion? Councillor Tom Melican, can I have a seconder please? Councillor Peter Castaldo. Councillor Tom, would you like to speak to the item?
Just say a few words here. This plan has the 4th year of our plan. It's amazing how things have changed so significantly in the last few months, and this plan has changed to meet the needs of our community now, and the needs have changed significantly. And yeah, we find ourselves in a very different and troubling time, and many people are hurting a lot, and this council here is to support those people, and this plans and the modifications are there to make sure that people in Banyule not only get through this, but get through this well, and on the other side we'll be able to recover. But the other thing it has, this COVID crisis has done, is it's actually welded the community together even more. Banyule has always had a very well connected and caring community, but I think this has highlighted the importance of being part of a community and the importance of the local community. But it's also made a real point that if we look after each other, we'll all be better off. And that's what this plan will do. That's what our budget will do. So I'm very pleased to move this plan tonight. It's not the plan we were going to have, but it's the right plan for this upcoming year, I think. And I think it's a plan that will get us through well. And I'd like to thank the staff for the work they put into this and my fellow councillors, because as a council, we are working very well together. We have been very supportive of each other. I think we were a well-working council that really did support each other, but I think after this crisis, I think we'll look back at it. This was a real point in our journey that we came together and really did support each other and really looked after each other. And you only have to talk to the staff and the CEO to realise that the staff feel exactly the same way, that we have stuck together and we've done our best. And the staff, I'd like to thank the staff who have worked very hard during very troubling times, but they've all stuck together as well. So I think as a council, we can be proud of our plans, but we can be proud of our actions as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Thom. Councillor Peter, as the seconder, would you like to speak to the item?
I'd also like to thank all those in the council that participated and gathered the thoughts and ideas of our community. There's thousands of people that contribute to this plan over the years, and this year was there was no shortage as well, over 800 people now. The feedback was very positive. It's about bringing people together, the community events, the places to meet in and to gather. It's also about improving our waste collection, recovery of materials and tree planting. There's a whole range of ideas that came out of the community, and it's very much in alignment with what I'm hearing from the community as well. We get feedback from the internet. Everywhere gives us quite a different skew of information, and we go wide and broadly to our community and try and reflect the best broad perspectives, ideas and thoughts. And I think there's a lot of very positive things that come out of this process, and the report that goes with the minutes, if you'd like to go and check that out on the council website, goes into a little bit more detail. And once again, I'd just like to thank everyone that participated in this, and I look forward to some of these great ideas being put into place.
Thank you, Councillor Peter. Would any other councillor like to speak to the item? Councillor Mark Di Pasquale.
Mayor, thank you very much for the opportunity just to say a few words on the plan that is going out to public exhibition. So what we want is the public to have a look at it, and we do want the public and our community to give us feedback and make submissions towards it and how it needs to change and how we can actually improve it. As Councillor Malikan did say, it has changed from the original plan. Really, the background of this plan going out for exhibition tonight is that every year we re-look at the plan after a year. It's set up as a 4-year time span, but now we come into the final year of the 4-year time span. So every year we do reassess the plan, we put it back up onto the table for the community to have a look at it and to make changes. So we're at that process now. So it is a normal process of the 4-year plan that we are in at the moment. It's not necessarily because of COVID-19 or any reaction to that or anything like that. But having said that, it is taking into account a lot of the changes that have had to happen in our community, and also changes that council has had to make on behalf of the community as well in this current climate. So it is important that the community does have a look at it and does make sure that it is sufficient to carry out the next year. So it is coming up now this evening. We are voting to put it out to public exhibition. Please, if the community could have a look at it and give us as much feedback as you possibly can. Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Councillor Mark. Would any other councillor like to speak to the item? Okay, Councillor Thom, as the mover, would you like a right of reply? No? Okay, I now put that in motion. All those in favour? All those against? That is carried. Item 6.2, proposed budget 2020 to 2021 for public exhibition. There are no submitters to this item. Could I please have a councillor move a motion? Councillor Mark, you have a question of the officer?
Mayor, if possible, yeah, may I have just ask a question of the appropriate officer with regards to the timelines that are proposed in the public exhibition of the proposed budget. Could I just have the appropriate officer just go through the timelines, and also if they differ from what they normally would, and are there any reasons for those differings, whether it be just normal process or whether it be COVID-19, would be helpful information, I think, for the community. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, Director Mark Giglio.
Thank you. Through you, Mayor, yes, there has been a change to the regular timetable. Typically by now we'd have a budget out for community consultation, probably a month earlier than tonight. There's a special council meeting tonight. And the reason that is because when the virus hit and all the restrictions were in place, we knew we had to stop the process, if you like, and re-look at the actual impact on council, given that the restrictions were placed on a lot of the services, and that they were potentially going to continue into the new year, and therefore the budget. And we've been able to do that with this budget. We've also been able to look at what the community support package or economic support package is for council, which was adopted on the 6th of April, and to incorporate that into next year's budget as well. Typically a budget has to be adopted under the Local Government Act by the 30th of June each year. We were on target to do that as we do every year. However, what the Minister, Local Government has changed is that, or extended that particular period for all councils now to the 31st of August. We don't believe we need all of that time. We're now looking at the 27th of April, which gives us sufficient time to go through that consultation period with the community, and then hear submissions on the 17th of June. Then we have added a new process into the submission process, and that's to consider submission at a separate meeting, which is on the 6th of July, and then we'll adopt the budget on the 27th of July with all that based on that community feedback. So yeah, later than usual, but obviously under the circumstances with the impact of the virus on all council operations, in some respects, we've been able to then respond to the impacts and then also allow the budget to incorporate that economic support package. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Mark. Councillor Mark, you have another question?
Thank you, Mayor. If I may, it's one of the things that is great as a councillor is there's many submissions that we do receive from the community coming up to the budget process. Normally what happens is we sit in the room and submitters come to the meeting and then stand at the lectern and actually physically submit to the budget their ideas. How have we made any decisions on how that process will happen to budget submitters to the budget this year? Because we normally get 40 or somewhat over 40 submissions to the budget every year. So are there any decisions being made about how we're going to manage that number of submitters in the current situation, because there won't be any people possibly available or coming to the meetings, or also the distancing as well? Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Director Mark, are you able to answer that question?
Yes, and through you, Mayor, it's certainly challenging given the changes and the fact that the community can't attend, and that's a feature of the submission process. And we do get a lot of submissions traditionally here at Banyule. We're looking at ways at the moment where we can still provide that opportunity for the submitters to be heard using technology. So we're just working through those at the moment. Some of the options may be a live link if technology permits. Also looking at the opportunity perhaps to pre-record their submission and then play that at the council meeting. And like we have been over the last couple of council meetings, have a pre-prepared statement that one of the council officers will read out. So we're looking at what technology works. We still want the participation by the community, and we're trying to tailor that to what works best for them, and so they still get the opportunity to speak to their submission. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Any other questions from any councillors at this point? Okay, can I please have a councillor move a motion? Councillor Rick Garotti, can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Craig Langdon, share that around. There we go. Councillor Craig Langdon. Councillor Rick, would you like to speak to the item as the mover?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I'll make a couple of brief comments. So tonight we're adopting a deficit budget, but it's not a debt and deficit budget. So the deficit will be $2.5 million, which is an $11 million turnaround from this year's forecast, and it really does show the impact of COVID-19, both the impact on our revenues and our costs. But importantly, though, we are continuing to pay down debt. So our debt will be paid down by $1.7 million, down to a record low of $31.3 million. And our financial position will continue to be strong. And I think it's important for our staff to know that, and also for our community. So as we head into troubling times economically in the country, I think it's an important message to know that this council is in a strong and stable position. Another good feature of the budget is that we're going to fully deliver the Capital Works program. That's important for jobs, for economic stimulus, but it also delivers, as we know, a long-term impact in terms of better infrastructure for our community. The budget includes a $10 million package to respond to COVID-19, and that builds on the $2.5 million we've already allocated. In addition, and as we touched on at the last council meeting, the council's providing in the order of $25 million in cash flow support to businesses, residents and ratepayers. When we add that up together, we're coming up with a figure of close to $40 million that we're injecting into our local community to help our residents, our businesses and our community get through these times. So we're going big, we're going strong, and we're doing everything that we can as a council to help get through these challenging times. We're going to have to work through the specifics of the additional $10 million in direct support, but what I can say is that it's likely to include a mix of general rate relief, specific rate waivers for those that are facing particularly hard financial hardship, and we're also probably going to look at some additional funding support for businesses in the community. I'll wrap up soon. The budget shows that there is an increase in the rating income, but that's just the way that the COVID-19 support has been included in the budget. We're going to fix that when we approve the final budget, because I can assure the community there will be no net increase in the rates that we collect. We're not into that this financial year. We are putting the money back into the community where it belongs. We genuinely seek feedback from the community, and we welcome and respond to that feedback. So I'm on the lookout. The budget's now out for consultation. And finally, I just want to wrap up by thanking councillors, the executive team, as well as the finance staff for all the terrific work that's gone into this. As a finance officer myself in another organisation, I know that it's not difficult. It's very difficult to turn around something this comprehensive in the timeframes that the staff have. So thank you, and Mark, please pass on our thanks to your team. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Craig, as the seconder, would you like to speak to the item?
Yes, thank you. First of all, I'd like to pick up something that Councillor Mallachan said in the previous motion, that this council is working together very well. Like the national cabinet around Australia, all political differences, not that there have been a great deal of political differences within this council ever, have all these things been put aside because we're focusing on how best to deliver things to the public, particularly those who are suffering with being unemployed or whatever at this stage. So I think we are a very effective team in putting that everyone else ahead of our own interests. I'd like to thank the CEO. It's hard to imagine she was only employed as CEO 4 months ago now, and talk about a baptism of fire, creating a budget with the COVID-19 crisis. So to you and all your staff, including every department, I must admit, when I can see and heard every department is doing their utmost. So your great leadership and their great leadership has led to what we're doing here. So please pass that on to everybody. We are still proceeding with capital works, over 14 million to the Ivanhoe Library and Cultural Hub to finish that building up, which should be opening sometime later this year. Hopefully we can actually get in and see it and actually use it, but that will be a step. We're doing also almost $2 million in the Darebin Creek and other trails, so we are doing infrastructure. We're even doing things like drains and all those sorts of issues, which are important. And we're hitting every mark we can, and also the Olympic Park is still, master plan is still being delivered. I know the Belfield master plan is about to get underway, and there's money in the budget for that. It's a great budget, and I do expect and look forward to any other submissions that may be coming in.
Thank you, Councillor Craig. Would any other councillor like to speak to the item? Councillor Tom Melican.
Yeah, I'll just say a few things. I think Councillor Garotti said it very well, but yeah, I think we do need to find a way that people in the harshest circumstances should be given not just relief from paying the interest, but actually some sort of waiver to their rates entirely, and that will hurt the bottom line of this council, but we're prepared for that, and I think we have the resources to cope with that. So I'm quite happy, and I think that's one of the things we will do before I think we adopt the budget. We will find a way in exceptional circumstances where people will not even have to pay their full rates. But as we said before, this COVID-19 is impacting people vastly differently, and we cannot just give everybody rate relief, because some people are doing quite well at it, and other people, many people can afford to pay their rates, and by paying their rates they support the most vulnerable in their community. And they're also protecting the jobs. And we talked about the projects in this budget. I think there's a project in this year's budget, the Rosanna Streetscape upgrade, and we had a lot of discussion whether we would proceed with that, and we decided to go ahead with that because it was important for that shopping centre to be looking good on the other side of COVID. But it was also important to provide those jobs for the people that were working on that. And we're also partnering with the state government, and I'd like to thank the state government actually for their Working for Victoria projects. And this council will be spending as much as possible and getting as many jobs, local jobs, available under that program. And because we have a strong budget, we can do that. And as part from that, we're also supporting the services that are desperately needed. I know our waste services are under enormous pressure because the amount of waste being generated has increased, but we're providing all those services as well. So I'm very, very pleased to put this budget out. I'd like to, as my fellow councillors, thank the staff for their efforts. I hope people respond, and I hope people do engage, because I'm very happy to talk about this budget to anybody.
Thank you, Councillor Tom. Would any other councillor like to speak to the item? Councillor Mark.
Thank you, Mayor, for the opportunity. Look, as a councillor, we do sort of earmark and pencil out a budget, really 4 years in advance. So our term, Mayor, of 4 years as councillors here comes to an end at the end of this year in October. And we had a lot of the things in the budget that the community did need with regards to capital works, etc., etc. And I was really proud of that budget in how it was delivering and how it continued to deliver for the community in the 4th year. Okay. And then as COVID-19 hit our shores, we had a big curveball to contend with. But looking at the proposed budget now going out to the community, I am more confident in the budget now, more confident in our community now, that things will continue to go well if we just stay the course that we are saying that we're on. Now, what we've done, Mayor, is as councillors we got together and we said, even before the COVID-19, we knew that people out there were even struggling with regards to finances. So we said, no, we're going to put a freeze on a lot of the community's charges, etc. So we froze those. and that's going to continue on. Capital Works initiatives, I mean, we're continuing with a $60 million dollar program, which is huge. The saving grace for us, I believe, Mayor, is that I don't think we were affected as much by supply from other countries for our capital works, etc., that we could have been, and also our the building industry and what gets our capital works program done. That wasn't actually shut down, and if that had have been, well, then that would have blown out a lot of what needed to be done and kept up to date for our community. So, I mean, what are the good points? Last week, our Waste Recovery Centre reopened. There's things actually happening that we're starting to pull out of this, but we just need to play the game for a lot longer. And if we can support each other, just like the staff has supported each other, just like they've supported us, if us councillors can keep supporting each other, and we want submissions in from the community if possible, because this is going out to public exhibition, and if we get that information in, we can listen to them and we can make further changes to make it even better. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Mark. Would any other councillor like to speak to the item? Councillor Peter Castaldo.
Firstly, I think most has been said by my fellow councillors. One of the important things through this difficult time is to stick together, help each other, support each other, and continue to provide us with information so that we can act in the best interest of our community. This is a very targeted budget, and you've got an opportunity to still participate here. And we haven't fully identified how we're going to do the COVID-19 spending. And so there is an opportunity for those, if you've got a particular piece of information that will help us deliver it to those that really do need it in our community, come forth with your recommendations, and we'll do everything we can to consider those. I'd also like to thank the broader the community as well. They've worked pretty hard over the last couple of years. They've participated with council and have helped us stay unified, and that's really important. Staying positive and supporting each other. I think when we come out of this period, we need to keep industry going. That's something that we've paid particular attention to in this budget. We didn't want to roll things back, stop things. We needed to keep things going, because when we do come out, we're going to have parks and gardens capital expenditure, so that when we do come out, we've got those beautiful places we can come together again in and enjoy each other's company. And so please do continue to put forward your recommendations, and we look forward to hearing all your feedback.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Rick, as the mover, would you like a right of reply? Okay. I now put that in motion. All those in favour? All those against? That is carried. I am now closing the meeting at 7:28 p.m. The next ordinary meeting of Council will be held on Monday, the 18th of May 2020. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you. Thank you.